How do we use the chat functionality and how do we connect Perplexity into the N8N automation? Hello and welcome to day 10 of the N8N series. So far, we have seen how to connect Gemini and also OpenAI into the flow of N8N. In today's video, let's see how do we connect Perplexity in the flow. And we will also introduce you to the chat functionality in N8N. So let's club this together and see how do we create a flow on N8N with chat function and Perplexity. The first step would be on chat. I'll enable this particular checkbox, which is make chat publicly available, which means anybody with the link can actually go ahead and chat with it to get the desired output basis the settings that we have done. So we will understand that. Mode, we have two modes. One is hosted chat and one more is embedded chat. Hosted chat is hosted by N8N. Embedded chat is chat through a widget embedded in another page or by calling a webhook, right? So you can either call it via a webhook, or you can also embed this onto your website or something like that. In today's video, we will be looking at just hosted chat. And then we have authentication, three types of authentication. One is none, which means there is no authentication. The second one is basic auth, which means they need to enter a username and password. And the third one is N8N user auth, okay, which means they need to be logged in into N8N account to be able to use this particular chat. So we will go with none for now. And what is the initial message that you want? Like, hi there, my name is Nathan. How can I assist you today? Right? So that's the initial message that comes whenever somebody opens the chatbot. You have a few properties here, like allowed origins, which means if you are embedding this onto any particular website, then what are the domains that it can be hosted on? And then allow file uploads. Basically, do you want the user to be able to upload the file or not? Allow file name types. What are the types of files that you want to allow? Input placeholder, load previous session, require button click to start chat, right? Subtitle, title, custom chat styling, response mode. So all of this is some properties that we can use to fine-tune how the chat works. Let's not get there for now. Okay, I'll click on test chat and you can see that comes over here. Okay, so that will become our trigger. That is when chat message is received. So to be able to use Perplexity, today we are going to use the use case of summarizing the YouTube video. So the flow is the user gives a YouTube link in the chat, and that link is then sent to Perplexity to get the summarization of the YouTube link and then sent back to the user. Okay, so we are going to connect Perplexity for that particular use case. So now let's connect Perplexity and try to send the link directly to Perplexity to see if it is actually able to give us the summary. And if not, then we will check out how do we get that. So I'll click on the next node and I'll search for Perplexity, and we have this one here. And the only action we have here is message a model. So we have to create the credentials just like we have done in Gemini and OpenAI case. So I'll click on create new credential. It'll ask us for the API key. So I'll go to Perplexity, and if I go to all settings, I can get the API from here. So before I can get the API key, I'll have to create an API group, and let me make this as ABCD test description using it in N8N flow. Address line, let me put as Googly. City is also Googly. State is Karnataka. Okay, that's automatically changed here, so that's fine. I'll click on save. It's asking me for the payment details. I'll cancel that. I don't think we need that. I'll go to the API keys over here and I can generate the API key. Now, for those of you who have not yet got this offer, if you are a Airtel subscriber, then you will get Pro plan of Perplexity for 1 year free of cost. And with that particular plan, you can get $5 worth of credit from Perplexity to be used via the API. So I'm just going to create key here and I've got the key. So let me just copy and I'll be pasting that in the N8N. We'll go back to N8N, paste the key over here and click on save. So you can see credentials successfully created in ABCD and it should also show here connection tested successfully. Okay, there you go. So I've done the connection as per the requirement. Now operation is messenger model. That's the only thing that we have. Of course, we have custom API call, which we are not going to look at right now. Model R1776 is the one which got selected default. I'll keep it as is. And here's the text message that we can say. Like we saw in OpenAI, we could also create a system and then the user. So the first one will be a system where we will tell you are an expert YouTube video summarizer. Okay, and then the text will be summarize the YouTube video for the link read by the user. And this is where we are getting the previous notes details. So I'll just click on execute previous notes and it has come here. Let me double click. Okay, so I'll have to first run the chat here and we will give the YouTube link. And for that, I'll go to my channel and let's take, so this particular one, which was released a day ago. Create YouTube videos with the real footage and AI voiceover. So I'll just go here, click on share, get this link, come back and put it over here. Once I do that, we just go over here and we will give the link here. That is basically this one, chat input. And let's click on execute step. So you can see what is output. The user wants me to summarize a YouTube video they linked. The link is this one. First, I need to check if I can access the content. But wait, as an AI developed by Perplexity, I don't have the ability to directly access or view video content from external links. That's a limitation I need to remember. So the user might not be aware of that. I should inform them politely that I can't view the video, but maybe they can provide details or key points from the video they want summarized. Alternatively, if they mention so and so. So what we have to do is we have to transcribe the video using some other node and then send it to Perplexity. So for that, what we will do is we will unlink this and we will use a service called Apify. I've got to know that this is also free, or rather we get $5 worth of credit, so we can give it a try. And we will have to run an actor, that is this one. Install this node to start using actions. So I'll have to first install this. It will take a short while to get installed. And whenever you are installing any node on N8N, you can also see some details here. This is verified, 483 downloads and published by Apify. So here I've already connected my account, but it's pretty simple. I'll show you once more. So create new credentials and then connect my account. If you already have connected your account and it is logged in like I did, you will be able to see it like this, and click on the account that you want to connect and allow access. That's all. It's as simple as doing it like Google Sheets or Google Gmail and so on and so forth. Okay, once it is done, just click on close and your account is connected. Resource will be actor, operation will be run an actor. Actor source will be recently used actors. I have not used anything from Apify store yet. so I might not be able to see anything here, but let's go over to Apify. Once you search for YouTube, you should find for YouTube transcript scraper, and we have one here, but what we are going to use is this one. So click on this and click on start. Okay, so you can see we need your permission to share all past and future runs of this actor with the developer. This will help them resolve. So I can just click on no thanks. If you want, you could do that. Go back to N8N, and from list, I'll search for YouTube transcript scraper. So we have it for all, like TikTok, YouTube, and all of that. But we want to use the YouTube transcript scraper. How do I do that? Let me do one thing. I'll just get the ID from here because that's the easiest way. And from list, let's make it as ID, and I'll paste the ID over here. Okay, so that's easier. We'll come back to this one, and JSON should be in this format. Basically, it needs to be starting with curly braces and ending with curly braces with key value pair added in between, and the key is video URL, while the value is coming from the previous chat, which is basically the chat input, the link, right? So once we add this, click on execute step. So as you can see, we've got the output here, and what basically this particular actor does is it actually transcribes the entire video and collects all the statements that we have made in the entire video along with timestamps. Okay, so it will be collected as something called dataset, and we need to get dataset ID, which is here, default dataset ID. Okay, and and because it's a video, it takes about a few seconds to transcribe and create all of this, and that's why we will use a node called wait, which is just for the system to wait before it goes to the next step. We will cover how does this wait node work because we have a lot of options here, but for now just add this and leave it to its default settings. And the next this thing node is again Apify, and option is get dataset items, and account is already created. Resources dataset, get items is coming from here. Okay, we just have to get the dataset ID. So I click on execute previous steps, and so we have issue here. So what I'll just do is I will I have to run this execute step, and once we do this, this will also be good. So I'll just go here and click search for data set. We have the default dataset ID. Just drag it and drop it over here and click on execute step. So as we can see here, start is 0.32. Okay, that is the second. Like improved night vision or acute, and then 2.48 hearing, allowing them to navigate. And so we have got all the details over here, okay, along with timestamp and what we have spoken and so on and so forth, right? You could actually control how many details can come out over here. So you can see all the details coming out here. Okay, in fact, you can also control how many data sets needs to be gotten here. It is set to 50. So once this is done, we'll have to combine them together, because now what we've got is all the small statements. Okay, and to combine, we will use one more node, and this node is basically going to be screen response. So next node that we're going to add to get only the text combined together is called edit fields, okay, which is basically set. Now we can drag and drop the data over here, and you could also change this to clean response just for us to understand, and make it as string, and just click on this JSON data, and after data input this, that is dot map bracket open x space equals to greater than space x dot. We will put this in the description, okay, so that you can copy paste. So basically what we are doing is we are extracting each of the text and then we are combining them together. Okay, that's what this join is doing. So once this is done, click on execute step and you can see that the output is like combined together. Once this is done, now we can send this to Perplexity and we can use Perplexity to get the response, right? Summarize the YouTube video in bullet points. Okay, YouTube video in bullet points basis the transcription given below. Now this can be the transcription, right? Once you have this, click on execute step and you should have the bullet points ready. So there you go. Now one of the things that we can also put here is, because it is coming okay, I need to summarize the YouTube video and stuff like that, I can mention it. Note, do not include any additional statements while replying back. I want to be able to send the output directly to the user without any additional formatting or editing. So let's try this out. Execute step and you can see here, all right, I need to okay, it's still not understood. Okay, it says, all right, I need to summarize the YouTube video script. First, the video seems to be covered two main topics: the tool 1703 and explanation of nocturnal animals. Wait, no, looking again, the user provided transcript. Okay, this has still not understood the note that we have put, but let's ignore for now because we want to understand the concept. Now, once we are done with this, let me click on save and I'll add the link over here. So if I give the same YouTube link, you see that this is running, it goes over here now, actually waiting for 5 seconds, it goes here, here, and we get the output, right? So of course we have to fine tune this bit a little bit, because right now what we are getting is entire JSON that we are getting from this one. To ensure that the data is structured well so that the user can read it, what we can do is we can use data transformation and we would use AI transform. Okay, so what we can do is read the output and format it in a way the user can actually understand. And here I'm just going to give the context. Okay, so context is here, read the output and format it in the way the user can actually understand. For maybe we can change this to remove the unwanted statements at the beginning and give only the summary. So I've added this. Let me click on execute step. So you can see here, video begins with an example of nocturnal animals adaptation, explaining how night vision and acute acoustic. So you've got the actual content here. So once this is done, I'll just clear the execution and let me just put the same link again. It will be a URL. Hit enter and let's see what happens. And there you go. Now to ensure that the output is formatted well, we could use data transformation and we could use the AI transform here. And here I can just mention, so I'll write a sentence, just format the text to be able to make it human readable, and I'll give this as input. Come on, I've given this as the input and this as the instruction. And let's see, I'll click on execute step and we're still getting the entire output. I want just this particular thing to be coming out. Okay, so to ensure that this is formatted well, what we can do is we can go to data transformation and use this edit field and manual mapping. I'll go to add field. I'll just make this as output string and let's put this as output, right? Execute step and you're getting just that. Okay, once that is done, I'll just go over here and put the same URL. That is basically the YouTube URL and hit enter. So basically it's running through here and you get only the text output that the humans can read. And there you go. So we've got some output. We can fine tune this even further. But what I want you to get from this is how do we use the chat functionality and how do we connect Perplexity into the N8N automation. Of course, other elements have been used just to showcase some use case that you can relate to. One of the things that I want all of you to keep in mind is understand how the functionality works. Use case can be very different. You can have a very different use case while the other viewer can have a very different use case. Important factor is how do you use the chat functionality? How do you connect Perplexity, OpenAI or any other platform? How do you send the data from one node to another and so on and so forth? So understand the functionality and use it in your use case the way you want. I hope this was helpful and I will see you in the next one.